stone fires. So retreating glaciers provide a valuable field research opportunity for observing succession. The dated locations chronicle recession of a glacier since 1760, based on historical description. As the ice retreats, here's McBride Glacier retreating, it leaves moraines along the edge, okay, of the bay in which primary succession occurs. Okay, so this is new land here. So you can see this retreating all the way back. This is like 1948. I'm still retreating today. Changes in plant community structure and soil nitrogen during succession at Glacier Bay, Alaska. So plant species composition changes dramatically during succession at Glacier Bay. So number one, the pioneer stage with fireweed, this wildflower that is dominant, and there is the glacier retreating. Okay. And then the second is the driest stage, where there's scrubby undergrowth. And then the last stage is the alder and spruce stage, where you get larger trees. So you can see the different shades of blue on that previous map show retreat of the glacier since 1760. And here you can see soil nitrogen, pioneer stage, first stage, and here this soil nitrogen is increasing because of increasing plant life. Biogeographic factors affect community diversity. So two key factors correlated with the community species diversity are where it is, geographic location, and how big it is. So large-scale patterns in the diversity of life can be understood by examining variation along environmental gradients, okay, such as equatorial gradients. So in equatorial polar gradients, two key factors of species richness are probably evolutionary history and climate. Species richness generally declines the further away from the equator, so closer to the polar cap. So it's especially great in the tropics. The equator has the highest level of richness in the world. Climate is likely the primary cause of latitudinal gradient and biodiversity. So species richness at the equator because the climate is always the same. Two main climatic factors correlated with biodiversity are solar energy, okay, constant solar energy, and water availability. Rains almost every day at the equator and the rainforest. They can be considered together as measuring a community's rate of evapotranspiration. So that means the evaporation of water from soil plus the transpiration of water from plants through their stomata during the day when they're open. So energy, water, and species richness. Species richness of North American trees increases most predictably with actual evapotranspiration, okay, which makes sense. While vertebrate species richness in North America increases most predictably with potential evapotranspiration. So evapotranspiration values are expressed as rainfall equivalents. So here are trees, actual, potential. A species area curve, the larger the geographic area of a community, the greater the number of species. So species area curve for North American breeding birds. Both area and number of species are plotted on a logarithmic scale. The data points range from 0.5 acre plots with species in Pennsylvania and the U.S. and Canada to 4.6 billion acres in Canada with 625 species. Island equilibrium model. The black triangles represent equilibrium numbers of species. So in the chart to the left, the diagram on the left, immigration and extinction rates. The equilibrium number of species on the island represents a balance between immigration of new species and the extinction of species already there. The middle diagram is the effect of island size. Large islands may ultimately have a larger equilibrium number of species than small islands because immigration rates tend to be higher than extinction rates, and extinction rates lower on large islands. Okay? So, immigration rates higher because more animals, but extinction rates lower. And on the right, the effective distance from mainland. Near islands tend to have larger equilibrium numbers of species than far islands because immigration rates to near islands are higher and extinction rates lower. So how does species richness relate to area? Studies of species richness on the Galapagos Islands support the prediction that species richness increases with island size, supporting the island equilibrium model. So you can see number of plant species on the logarithmic scale, area of the island, so the number increases with the larger the islands.